Hey guys, Ivan here with the Old School Labs, and we are starting this video with a physique update or a training video of William Bonac. Now, William Bonac last year, he took second at the Mr Olympia. He was the runner-up. And in my opinion, based on what I've seen so far and based on how he looked last year and how close it was between him and Brandon, I feel like the only bodybuilder that William Bonac can't beat in this lineup is Phil Heath. And of course, in case Phil Heath doesn't, fail miserably, which is not gonna happen, come on. If Phil Heath comes in decent conditioning, in decent shape, nobody can beat him. But the other guys, the other 6 guys, I think anybody can take that second spot, including William Bonac. I'm gonna talk more in length about this in my prediction video that is coming soon, maybe tomorrow. But at this point, you can see right here how William looks, and he looks really good, like really full, really conditioned. He's starting to get really dry at this point, and he looks very hard as well. So I feel like he's gonna bring his A game at this year's Mr. Olympia. Now, here is something interesting. So last year at the Arnold Classic, it was really close between him and Brandon. Nobody was sure who's gonna win that show. Most people probably had Brandon winning it, but it was really close. It could have went either way. And then at the Mr. Olympia, both of these guys were off. Both of them. Brandon didn't bring the conditioning and William Bonac came downsized. Steve Weinberger himself actually said that if William brought his Arnold Classic shape to the Mr. Olympia stage, he would have probably won that show and he would have become a Mr. Olympia champion. Was the reason the fact that he stopped working with Neil Hill, or is it something else? So we cannot be sure. But, if he brought his fullness that he had at the Arnold's, I think he would have won also. I think so, because Brandon was off with conditioning a little bit. So at this point, we are 2.5 weeks out of Mr. Olympia. If William Bonac brings his A game, he can beat anybody else. I just don't see him beating Phil Heath, because Phil is just kind of better version of William Bonac. They both have a very similar build, They both have narrow shoulders. They're not really that short. Phil is a little bit taller, but he's also not a tall bodybuilder. Everything, they have pretty much the same things, the good arms, good most muscular poses, but William has a little bit too narrow shoulders and very, very low attached lats, and that makes his back seem, it's a good back. Phil also has a good back, but those low inserted lats make him look a little bit more blocky, and that can be an issue. And they also have pretty nasty looking stomachs, both of them. So they kind of have the same advantages and disadvantages. I just feel like Phil is much better. And if Phil comes miserably off, Bonac can take him out, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Phil would risk losing to guys like William Bonac. If he wasn't sure he's going to win the Mr. Olympia, he wouldn't even do it. So I think Phil is going to win it. And as far as the second spot, it can be anybody. It can be this man right here, William Bonac. It's been quite a while since we saw something from Shawn Rhoden, Mr. Olympia 2018, who was accused of rape, and that's why he cannot compete anymore until the charges are dropped or until the issue is resolved, whichever way. So, yeah, it sucks. We're not gonna see him this year at the Mr. Olympia stage, obviously, because take a look at his shape right here. He's in full off-season mode. Will we ever see him back on stage? I don't know. I hope so, before it's too late, because he's not getting any younger at this point. He's in his mid-40s. So I don't know when the issue will be resolved, but it sucks, man. He was able to beat Phil Heath. Yeah, Phil was a little bit off, but it wasn't a horrible version of Phil Heath. So this guy right here, I think he's a better bodybuilder when he's really on. His 2018 version is better bodybuilder than anybody else, aside from Phil Heath that is on in this lineup that we have this year. So I think he's better than Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Dexter Jackson, Big Ramy, Rolly Winkler, and I don't know, maybe even Phil Heath. I don't know. Maybe Phil is going to look the same as he looked in 2018, which I think is going to be good enough, to beat the other guys. It wouldn't be good enough to beat a really good version of Shawn Rhoden like it was in 2018, where he was ripped to shreds. But again, the reason why Phil was so off was his hernia problem on his stomach, and he had time to fix it. He had time to recover. So I don't think that's going to be a big issue this year, not as big as it was last time he competed. But anyways, it sucks. It really sucks that we won't be able to see Shawn Rhoden at Mr. Olympia stage. He is definitely, unarguably, one of the greatest bodybuilders in modern bodybuilding, in today's bodybuilding. And yeah, he is not allowed to compete. That sucks, but it is what it is. We're not gonna see him. Maybe next time, maybe next year, maybe in a couple of years. I don't know. Let's hope so. But this year, no. Oh yeah, I forgot about Hadi when I talked about who I think Shawn is better bodybuilder than, and Hadi is your top 3 bodybuilder last year. So yeah, I think he's great bodybuilder, and here's a physique update of him, a photo, and you can see right here. I don't know. I mean, it seems to me like he improved his upper body. I think his arms are looking bigger, thicker, fuller, and he knows that that was the biggest knock on his physique that he received. Everybody was saying he was good enough to become the Mr. Olympia champion if he had a little bit better arms. So he worked on that. I mean, still, it's a weakness. It will always be a weakness for him. I mean, you cannot change something like that. You can change it to a certain extent, but to make your weakness a strong body part or at least a decent body part, you know, it's hard. It's really hard, especially for these guys at this level. So once you get to that top 3, the Mr. Olympia, how big improvements can you really make? It's something that Phil Heath did, actually. I mean, his weakness was his back, and then it became his biggest strength. And that's something that is really rare to see. Can it happen with Hadi? I don't know. I hope so, but I don't really think so at this point. But overall, he looks huge. He looks huge, and he looks in decent conditioning as well. I don't know if this is a good conditioning for how many, less than 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks out. But in some photos, he looks sharper than the others. But yeah, I think he can bring his conditioning to a decent level if he knew he was able to compete. But at this point, we're not sure. So I don't know, how motivated can you be if you're not sure if you're going to compete? Like, if you know you're going to be there, you're going to give it all you got. But this way, I don't know, it's tough. It's certainly tough on him. So I don't know if he even plans on competing, but he doesn't look like he's taking time off. Obviously, he looks good. Conditioned enough to dominate Mr. Olympia stage. I don't know about that, but he looks big and full, and he's obviously on stuff. You can see the veins popping everywhere. He looks really impressive. So yeah, let's hope he's gonna get there and present himself in the best way possible. Alright, so we have a proper physique update of this man right here, Chris Bumstead, on his YouTube channel. So check it out if you haven't already. And at this point, I mean, this is about 3 weeks out. He looks really good. Take a look at the conditioning. I mean, take a look at the striations and the depth of that chest, for example. You know, he has that muscle maturity. You know, I think it's genetic, what he has. He has deep separations, genetically. I don't think it's anything to do with training or the duration of himself being a bodybuilder. I think it's just genetic. I mean, these separations and cuts on his chest. Take a look at this madness. Like, can you work on this? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the way he's training just like everybody else. Nothing special he's doing. I watched his videos, so I think it's all genetic. And that's one of the biggest reasons he's Mr. Olympia, of course. The lines are the number one reason. I mean, this small waist and the shape of his physique. And then again, of course, you must consider the graininess, you know, the completeness, the fullness, the hardness, the conditioning that he brings, everything for sure. But I think the lines is something that sets him apart. So here you can see incredible lines. His entire physique is just so well shaped. And then he has the deep separations, the cuts, which makes his physique look super impressive. So I do have him winning this Mr. Olympia, even though Breon looks really good. Take a look at this. Breon actually looks amazing. He looks ready, you know, to step on the stage at this moment. He has been looking like this for the past 2 weeks, maybe. So he's just cruising with the same body fat percent. I don't think he's gonna change anything. Come Mr. Olympia time, he'll probably dehydrate himself severely to make the cut, to make the weight, and then, I don't know, probably carb up to get back to his best possible shape. But here you can see, I mean, he's in good conditioning. And once he lost all the fat, this is the same Breon Ansley we had last year, right? On Mr. Olympia stage. there is no obvious improvement. I don't see anything drastically changed. Because, I mean, these guys are talking about some details when they're trying to make improvements in a category that is limited by weight. Like, what kind of improvements can you really make if you can't gain any weight? It's hard, especially for bodybuilders who are, in the game for so many years, like Breon. He's, I think, 41 at this point, something like that. He's not a youngster. He has been competing and training for a long, long time. So, I mean, can he really make improvements if he doesn't gain weight? I don't know. Maybe he gained a few details, but nothing that's going to make him look so much better than last year, or something that's going to be enough to dethrone Chris. I don't see it. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It's really impressive. It's probably second best classic physique in the world. Not the best one. Not the first one. Chris has the first one. I don't see Breon winning this year. I am impressed, however, with his physique quite a bit, but I don't see him taking Chris out. No, I don't see that happening. And for the end, we have let's call it a body fat percent update of Dexter Jackson. In this photo, he's holding his baby grandson, but I decided to crop the baby out of the photo. So you can see right here Dexter's arms and forearms, and just how lean they actually are. I mean, based on the veins and the thinness of the skin. And now Dexter, he's known for being the most conditioned guy. That's his game. His nickname is the Blade because he's really sharp, right? And for 2.5 or let's say 3 weeks out when this photo was taken, is he looking that conditioned? Is this conditioning good enough, for 3 weeks out? I'm not sure. I'm not sure really at this point. I mean, I made some conclusions based on the photos that I've seen from bodybuilders weeks prior to a show, and usually I'm pretty accurate with that. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it on the face. You can see it when you see the skin, how thin the skin looks. But in this case, I'm not sure. I can't really make conclusions. I have been watching it. I have been looking at this photo, and I try to decide to figure out, is he gonna bring the conditioning based on the thinness of the skin on his arm? But I'm not sure. It can go either way. Like, maybe he doesn't look super sharp, but it's 3 weeks, guys, and he's known for conditioning, so he knows what he's doing. He's probably just gonna have to dehydrate himself severely, in the next couple of weeks. As far as the body fat percent, I think he got it down. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a conditioned version of Dexter Jackson. But based on this photo, I cannot really make too many conclusions. Although I did want to share it with you. Anyways, guys, tell me what do you think about whatever from this video. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.